Hey Rebels, my name is Matthew Barton. Welcome to the Rebellion Brewing Podcast. The Prairie Beer Awards are underway, and brewers from across Saskatchewan and Manitoba are putting their best foot forward in this year's inaugural competition. Dave Cole is one of the founders and organizers of the Prairie Beer Awards, and he joins me today to talk all about them. So let's get into it.
Hi, it's Dave Cole. I'm one of the organizers. Very happy to be here picking up the beers from Saskatchewan, bringing them back to Winnipeg tomorrow. And then we're going to start judging on Wednesday. So we're not going to wait for a couple months. We're going to judge them as fresh as possible. And judges start flying in from all across Canada on Wednesday and Thursday. And then it's really, really excited about this.
Nice. I guess let's back up a sec. Help my audience understand. Who are you, and what do you do?
By day, I'm an accountant. By evenings and weekends, I'm a beer judge. I've been judging for about 7 years now. I've been all across Canada and the States for competitions. Absolutely love it. I've met incredible people coast to coast, and I want to highlight what we have here. There's competitions everywhere else except for here, so I figured, well, I can do this. You know, I had a lot of support from Rebellion and Torque and the Alberta Beer Awards, the CBAs, ABAs, like just everyone wants to see it happen. So there's a lot of excitement and happy to be part of it.
When it comes to being a judge, what's important? What should people know? Like, how do you become a judge?
A lot of studying, a lot of exams. Basically, it's not what I like. It's how close does this beer match the description of the style. Basically, yeah, you have to change your hat. I voted for beers to win Best of Show that I personally would never pay for myself because it's just not my favorite style. But the beer was a perfect example of the style. So you have to give them credit for what they're doing.
So it's about being a neutral kind of arbiter.
You have to, yeah. Yeah, everything's double blind. We're all volunteers. We have no idea what the sample is. It's just number 1, 2, 3. We have no idea who or where it came from. All I know is that it's supposed to meet this description, and either it does or it doesn't.
Mark was previously saying there are some competitions that matter and some that are kind of fluffy and they're not as serious. So what are you doing? What is your team doing to make sure this competition is legit and will be respected by the people who are competing?
So I handpicked the judges. Right now, I think we're at 18 national or higher judges. Best in Canada are coming out. I have a Grand Master from Pittsburgh coming out. I have a couple Master judges. Basically, the best of the best judges are coming out, which gives a lot of credibility for it. They are getting full score sheets with constructive feedback and score numbers, not just, we like your beer, great job. There's actual feedback to make their beers better. We're not giving them compliments. We say, hey, it's good, but it can be better. This is how it can be better. We want to see all the beers being medal winners.
So it's a developmental kind of piece too?
Correct. We're also offering courses for judges to advance their ranks. We're offering exams for beer tasting, mead tasting, and beer written, which is the first time in Central Canada.
Okay, let's back that up a sec. So you're going to have training for judges to build up capacity.
We want to have better judges, and we want to have more judges. You can't just say, I like beer and be a judge. You have to take a lot of training, a lot of experience, and this is a perfect opportunity because they have some of the best judges out here to proctor the exams. I want to use their skills. I want to get more judges out there from Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
How does someone become a beer judge through this competition? Who do they talk to?
Get hold of any organizer. You go on the BJCP website. You have to do like an online entry exam to show you have like the bare minimum to even qualify for the exam. Then you take the tasting exam. If you score high enough, then you can take another exam. And if you score high enough for that, you can take another exam, and then you become national. But in between, you have to get a lot of experience points.
You're personally going to be judging the beers, right?
No, I can't.
Oh, because you're organizing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. All the judges, it's completely blind. I have no idea what they're getting. Because I know who's entered, I cannot judge.
Oh, okay. So to be neutral.
Correct.
How many times have you been a judge?
I don't know, lots. I've been very fortunate. I've made it a priority to learn as much as I can. So I've judged In Halifax, the CBA's a couple times, Ontario Beer Awards once. I've been the head judge for the Pro-Am in Winnipeg a couple times. I've judged here in Regina for the Ales Comp, up in Saskatoon for the, I think it's Headhunters, I believe it is. Edmonton for the ABAs, Calgary for the Calgary Beer Awards a couple times, did the BC Beer Awards a couple times. And every chance I'm going to a festival, I want to learn. I want to try 4 ounces of every beer out there. I want to learn and see what people can do.
Mark's often saying for him, beer judging is like work. It's not play.
It's not a vacation, no. It's like, so when I'm actually judging and I have no idea what's going on, it's 12 hours of nonstop judging. And you get 4 meals a day, 5 meals. If you're doing like all sessions to make sure you stay sober, and it's not just having beer. You're filling out score sheets. You're giving constructive criticism. Honest feedback. It's like no one wants fluff. Some people want fluff, but legit brewers want to do a better job. They're not sure how their beer ranks with the rest.
What does a brewery have to do to enter these awards?
Go to the website for any of the competitions, and there's a simple click link, and you fill out what category you want to put it in, what your beer is described as, how it meets that category. And if it doesn't, explain what's going on, and then ask us to put it where it's supposed to go.
Oh, okay.
Because some beers just don't fit the standard categories because they're either magical and have unicorn dust, or some other magic that just doesn't exist, or they put a bunch of categories together that don't really exist but they think it tastes great, which is fine. There's a category for that too, but we have to put it somewhere.
How many categories are there going to be?
For the Prairie Beer Awards, I think there's only 25 categories because I'm condensing a bunch of small categories into one awards category. Some brewers, they chase awards. They put beers in low entry categories to get a medal. Not going to happen. I'm trying to keep the categories all about the same number of entries to keep everything fair.
Okay. How many people have entered so far?
Last I checked, I think we're 85% of the breweries in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So I'm very, very happy with that.
Is that something that you maybe were concerned with, that people wouldn't enter?
For a first year, there's always a lot of unknowns. I've talked to a lot of other organizers, and they said brewers are like try to herd a bunch of cats. It's impossible. Everything's the last minute and just kind of ridiculous. But they came through. Like, holy cow, did they come through? Very, very excited.
When it comes to the average consumer, the average beer drinker, I know brewers, they care about awards. It's a little bit of marketing. It's a little bit of development and learning, and now the judging piece. But why should the average beer drinker care about these awards?
Because the judges know what they're talking about. For example, Rebellion, they won gold last night for their amber. It's a huge award for the World Beer Cup. And Torque also got bronze in the same category, which is amazing because there's only two Prairie breweries got awards, which is incredible. So very happy with that. And for just average drinker, look at the awards, see who's winning medals constantly or regularly, and check them out because they know what they're doing. They have top quality beers. They're not winning awards because they're it's marketing. This is double blind. No one knows who made this beer, but they know it's a really, really good example.
Sweet. I guess that kind of segues into the next part. Was I wanted to announce on this episode, people will know by the time it airs, but we're fresh off the news that we won gold at the World Beer Cup with Amber Ale.
Yesterday, that was amazing.
So I wanted to share one with you.
Yes.
And just hear your thoughts. Have you had it before?
Many times. It's a great example. I'm not surprised at all.
Okay.
Like, yeah, as a judge, I don't know what I would score differently about it because this is exactly as it's described.
An American amber / red.
Yeah, like it's very it's hop forward with a solid malt base, and just really smooth and full body. It's not like a light watery beer. There's lots going on, but it's well balanced. It's not too much of anything, and it's just an incredible example of style.
I was talking with my wife about it. It's her favorite from the entire lineup. And my other buddy messaged me last night, and he goes, if I was stranded on a desert island, this is the only beer I could have. This would be it. He dug it. And when I compare it to other American red ales, they never kind of match what I'm looking for, which is this beer. I kind of feel like this is the one I understand the best, and it's kind of in my imagination the benchmark that I'm looking for when I see somebody else say, "Here's an American Red, you should try it."
Yeah, I think for Joe Public, I think if you put this one and Red Line together with anything else, it'd be two very different lines, and the other ones will be lacking because they just, when you have them back to back, you see how much the other ones aren't there.
I haven't had Red Line in a long time.
You might be able to get it here, I think, at Sobeys. I think I saw it once or twice.
Yeah?
Winnipeg's not that far. It's 6 hours. I just drove it.
Right.
It's okay.
I know people will be chasing down Red Line. We've been getting emails last night and this morning and inquiries for Amber. I'm sure that Red Line's going to be flying off the shelves too.
Yeah. So for Joe Public, by all means, get a couple of friends together, get a couple, any style of the same beer, and blind taste it, and you will notice the difference. Everybody has a bias, so you can't know what it is. Get some to pour it to you blind, and then I think you'll be surprised.
I think one of my favorite things to do is to take like a Rickards Red, because that's something that
everyone's had it.
Yeah. Right?
That have a Kilkenny, have a couple other ones, and it's just not there.
You see the light bulb go off in people's heads when they taste them blind side by side, and they're like, "Oh, that's the difference." I'm like, yes, I've been talking about this for years.
But you have to get them interested somehow in actually trying it, not thinking, "Oh, I've always had it. It's great beers." No, the other ones aren't great beers, but you've always had it, so you're familiar with it. Try something different, and I think you'll be surprised.
So when you've been in competition, I'm sure you've got quite a few good stories. What's one that kind of sticks out in the back of your mind is like, "Oh man, that was a really great memory," or "That was a really great experience from a competition"? Or maybe was it too fuzzy because you were drinking 4-ounce samples all day?
No, I like when I'm judging, I'll have, like me personally, I'll have maybe 4 quarter-ounce to half-ounce sips, and that's it. I don't finish the sample because you just can't.
Right.
My goal is to try all the beers, and I'll judge long enough. I don't need all 4 samples, like 4 ounces, because you're gonna have a short day if you do that. Mm-hmm. And I want to give quality feedback, so you don't. But there's a couple beers, usually 1 or 2 per competition, like just holy cow, they got jammed, like all the unicorn dust or whatever magic they have, and it's like last year with you guys with your cherry lambic. I was judging it with Malcolm from Calgary, and there's 2 of them like, holy cow, these guys know what they're doing. We have no idea. It's entry 1, 2, and 3. We have no clue, but it's like, whoa, this is not your average beer. This is like definitely top shelf.
Well, we know we've been trying to take it really serious with the lambics, something that Mark and our brewers have been really grinding on and developing for years.
It takes years and years. It's not something you make in 2 weeks.
Right. I think it took us 2 years to make that one.
Yeah, well, I think Mark, when I was talking to him last year, he said he's been working on that recipe for I think about 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it shows.
I just meant that individual batch.
Probably, yeah. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. But there's that. We had a wine beer hybrid last year also. They're just absolutely amazing. Some mix beer and wine, and it doesn't work. You have to make it work together. You can't just dump it in the same container and call it a hybrid. It's not that. That's not how it works. But
have you ever been in a competition and learned something novel that just surprised you? And you're just like, oh, I'm never going to forget that.
Always. There's certain flavors, different ingredients. Kewra, Kewra. It's an Indian spice. Absolutely amazing flavor. Never knew what that was before. There's just different flavor combinations. Some of them just really work. I never knew what they were before. Yuzu, for example, before it became everywhere, was an amazing fruit. Buddha's hand is another great example of a fruit most people don't know about, but holy cow, does it work in beer.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a Asian citrus fruit. It looks like a wrinkled yellow finger's a hand, and is basically just like a really unique lemon rind kind of flavor to it, but more
citrusy.
It's citrusy, but it's something else. I don't know how to describe it. It's very unique. Barnhammer has a great example. They had a sour with it in Winnipeg, and it's a flavor you've never had before, and you won't forget.
I had a friend raving to me earlier this afternoon about Barnhammer. He said he's going out to Winnipeg in the next couple weeks to go visit family, And he goes, I'm going back to Barnhammer. I've got to go get their beer.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of great brews everywhere. It's not like, of course, I'm biased, like for anywhere in the prairies, but anywhere you go, you got to try the local stuff. Like I think most people would be surprised how much great beer is out there.
If you had to name a top 3 list of beers people should check out this summer, say they're going over to Winnipeg or to Manitoba, they're going to your hometown.
Top 3 beers.
Who should they check out?
Or top 3 breweries. Top 3 beers is impossible. Top 3 breweries, I would say, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this one, but Low Life has some absolutely amazing barrel program. Sucrums has a really good quality program, and Torque, they've won like all the awards, and they always have solid beers, and they always have a wide variety of different styles.
I feel like Torque has changed a lot over the years. When I very first started drinking them till now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's my perspective on beer has changed, but when they started till now, I see the change. I see the difference, and I'm blown away by how damn good it's gotten. Like, it feels like every time I have their beer, it tastes better than I remember.
I tend to agree with that. Like Adam and the brewing team, they're always trying to improve the recipes. They're always entering competitions. They always want the feedback, and they actually use it. They don't just like, whatever, and they don't know what they're talking about. So like they've won awards for Torque. I forget how far back, but at least 5 years now. So it's been I mean for Redline, it's been getting awards a long time because it's a great recipe. But more of them are getting awards now too. So,
it's awesome. And I don't know if you know, but we've been in talks with Torque to do a collab brew this summer.
That'd be great.
So we're gonna have more fun with Saskatchewan and Manitoba beers.
Like there's always rivalry, but at the end of the day, we're the same team. Like we're still gonna root for you guys, even though your riders suck and whatever. But it's all good fun.
Speaking of riders, you know what's really funny is Winnipeg fans have kind of adopted our tap room for game day. You'll see tons and tons of green jerseys at Whacker down the street, but you come to the Rebellion tap room and it's filled with blue jerseys because for some reason Winnipeg fans, they're just like, this is the place to come for beer in Regina. And they keep saying
you guys are definitely like top 3 here to come see for sure.
So it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
To see Winnipeg fans, they make the trip out for football and they take some time out of their day to come visit with us. It's great.
Oh, yeah. No, Rebellion is definitely a must-stop when we're coming through for sure.
So when do these awards get handed out? When do people find out the results?
June 4th, we're going to have it at Torque in Winnipeg. We're also going to have a live broadcast as well. I don't know how I got someone else that's a lot smarter than me to do that, but we're going to have it live for those that can't attend. But we're going to have like a live session with actually like physical, hand out the trophies and all that kind of fun stuff. And next year it'll be here.
And people can watch online?
Yes.
Deadly. Where can they go to watch online?
I'm still working on the details.
Okay, I'll be sure to get that information from you, and I'll post it in the show notes once it goes live.
Yeah, for sure. And then so the Prairie Beer Awards is in Winnipeg this year, Regina at Rebellion next year, Winnipeg in 24, Saskatoon in 25, Winnipeg in 26. So we're going back and forth between the 3 cities. We've lined up free shipping, which is me, because I want to make sure that the beer gets to where it's going fresh, not stored in a truck at 100 degrees for 4 days, bounced down all over the place. I want to make sure it's picked up and back in the cooler again.
Right, and that's so essential to make sure it's stored fresh. We've made decisions like we're not going to send this beer to competition because we can't ensure that it will be handled properly, so the judges will appreciate it.
Right. And like I feel bad for breweries. Well, the last 2 years now with COVID, it really screwed things up for the CBAs. They had the beers in, and then restrictions said, no, you're locked down. It's like, well, what do you do? So they locked everything down. Everyone was in the same basic, crappy score table because everyone's beers was old. But that was the only fair thing they could do. They couldn't allow fresh ones to be sent in because they're not going to pay whatever it is to get expensive beer shipped again. So everyone had old, dead IPAs, and that is it's a crappy deal. But that's the only fair thing they could do.
Right. I remember when we sent beer, and they looked at us and they said, "Wow, the COVID restrictions, everything's messed up, and we had some breakages." And we couldn't send replacements. It was just, they're just like, you're done. You're out. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I like. There's things I can control and things I can't. I can control shipping. So I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna make it as easy as possible for you guys, like for the brewers.
Yeah.
Because there's a drop spot in Regina, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, which covers about 90% of all the breweries within an hour of a drop spot. Like, surely they can figure that part out. I'll pick it up between, but shipping beer is expensive, and a lot of it gets lost, stolen, or damaged, or stored improperly, and I can fix that.
Right.
So.
Well,
I want the judges to get the best beers possible.
I appreciate you coming out and spending some time with me for the podcast, and I'm really glad that you're taking that due care to handle the beer properly. Mark speaks so highly of you, and he said he wants this to be a legit, trusted competition and a great space for Prairie craft beer. I'm really excited to see what happens.
Right, and I want to show the judges what we have here because they're super excited. They're coming from Halifax, multiple from Ontario, a bunch from Alberta, BC, Pittsburgh. I think I have one or two from Saskatchewan and one or two from Manitoba, but I'm going to keep them separate because they may know what the beers are. I want outside judges coming in, not knowing what they're having, and they're all super excited because they've heard a lot of good things too.
Now they might be tasting a gold medal amber.
That's the goal. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the list is, but I'm very excited to share what we have.
Dave, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Rebels, thanks for listening today. If you have any questions or comments about this episode, be sure to join us on our brand new Facebook group page, The Rebellion Brewing Podcast. I'm also proud to let you know that we're members of the Saskatchewan Podcast Network. It's a one-stop shop for tons of locally produced shows from across our province. And you can find them at saskpodcastnetwork.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped so you don't miss out on the latest in Sask craft beer news. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.